As you can tell by the title, I'm going to show you guys all of my grooming tricks. Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I'm showing you all my tricks and tips, how I wax my brows, how I fill them. I'm also showing you how I tint my brows and what a difference that makes. So please give this video a thumbs up so that other people can find it. It helps out my channel so much. It actually brings me up in the search results so that other people can discover this video and know better ways to take care of their own brows. So if you'd like to see how I do my brows, keep on watching. So you guys are going to need a brow powder to fill in your brows. You're also going to need some tiny applicator sticks to apply the wax. Wax strips, of course. I like to cut these into quarters so that I can get 4 wax strips out of one whole wax strip. And then you are also going to need some brow tweezers and scissors for plucking any stray hairs and also trimming your hairs. Then you're also going to need some cotton pads and some skin cleanser and wax remover because there's always a little bit of wax left over on the skin. You can't always see all of it, so you just want to make sure that you get it all off. And then I also got this brow tint and developer from Amazon, and it was pretty cheap. Just search brow tinting kit. I got the shade Natural Brown, and it also came with this little mixing cup and application brush. You're also going to need a mascara wand in order to brush your hairs up so that you can trim them, and that's about it. My brows, I like to start out by filling them in so that they're nice and even. So what you're going to do is the center of your brow should start from the little dimple in the side of your nose and go straight up. So I'm just making a mark with my powder there, and then I'm going to take it from the bottom of my nose through the center of my eye, and that is where your arch should be. And then finally I'm taking it from the same part under my nose to the outer corner of my eye and making one more mark. After that, I'm going to begin filling in the brow, so I'm just going to create straight lines in between each little mark that I made, and then once I get that all filled in, outlined rather, I'm going to go ahead and fill that all in with powder. Okay, and once they are completely filled in, I can go ahead and take a little bit of that cleanser on a Q-tip and just clean away the little marks I made and even sharpen up the edges of those lines until I am sure that I have proportionate eyebrows, so that my eyebrows, both eyebrows, are the same thickness and the same length. They start and end at the same points on my face, and one isn't higher than the other. Once I'm happy with that shape and feel like they are symmetrical, I'm going to go ahead and take my mascara spoolie and start brushing my brow hairs in an upward direction. So any little hairs that are sticking outside of that outline, I'm going to go ahead and trim. If you have very sparse hairs in the tail of your brow, I would recommend not really trimming them because that's going to give you more volume and make your hair appear thicker through that area without makeup on. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and start to trim. So you just want to work very slowly and be careful. On this brow, I ended up actually cutting a little too much than I should have, so one of my brows ended up being a little bit thinner than the other. But this is why it's difficult to do your own brows. After that, I'm going to go ahead and start waxing. I like to start in the center of my brows and just apply a generous layer of wax, and then I'm pressing my wax strip in an upward fashion, the same direction as the hair growth, and then I'm going to pull in the opposite direction, but I'm going to make sure that I'm holding the skin taut before I pull. Next, I'm going to be working in 4 sections per brow, so I'm going to be using 4 little strips. I'm going to start in the top section and just bring it to where from the center of my brow up to where my arch is, and just follow that line that I created with the powder. I actually went a little too far down on this and took a little bit too much on this one because it's really hard to see in the mirror that you're doing it right, and I'm just, holding the skin taut and pulling the wax, and then I'm going to go from my arch to the end of the brow, and then I'm going to go from underneath in the same fashion. You guys get it. And that's it for the waxing part. After that, I'm taking my tweezers and just grabbing any little stray hairs that are still outside of that outline that I created. And once I do that, I'm going to remove any extra wax residue and the powder with my cleanser on one of those cotton pads. And then it's time for tinting. I'm going to go ahead and mix the tint and the developer together to create a paste, and I'm just going to apply that all over my brows and then clean up the edges again with that damp Q-tip. And I like to let mine set for about 5 minutes. You can wear it for anywhere between 2 and 10 minutes depending on how dark you want it to turn out. And then as you can see here, the difference between before and after the tinting, how much of a difference it makes. And you can also see that I ended up waxing one of my brows a little bit thinner than the other, but you know, we will regrow. Now I also wanted to show you guys how I fill in my brows. The tinting definitely helps make them appear a little bit thicker, and I don't need to use as much product. But here I'm taking one of my favorite brow products, is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and as you can see I'm using short hair-like motions, like little flicks, to outline the brow first, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill the entire thing in. And I am focusing more on the tail of my brow where I have that little sparse area. I don't know why, I've just always had like a little gaps in the arches of my brows. So I spend more time there, and then once I get that part filled in, I kind of leave the center a little bit bare and then start flicking upward, but using lighter pressure so that it's not so dark. And then after I'm happy with that, I go ahead and brush the product through my brows and just comb my brows into place and see if there are any other spaces that need a little bit more attention so that it all looks uniform. And then after that, I really like going in with a concealer on a small detailing brush and just carving out the edge. This really helps create the shape that you want. Like if you mess up at all, or you get the brow product on your skin and you don't, like, obviously you can just fix it with some concealer, so that's why I really love it. And it just sharpens up the edges and makes them stand out a little bit more and look a little bit more clean, especially if you haven't done your brows in a while and you have little hairs. The concealer will just cover it up so you can't see it as much. But yes, that is how I fill my brows. It's actually really, really easy. I hope that you guys like this video, and thank you so much for watching. Okay guys, so that is it for the video. I hope that this really helped you guys and that you'll try it out if you feel comfortable. Like I said, doing your own eyebrows is much more difficult than getting them done by a professional. So keep that in mind when you're trying stuff out. As you guys saw, and as I mentioned in the video, I did end up taking out a little bit too much right here, but you know, it happens. So I hope that you guys like this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!